business is lonely, and 1 in 7 or 8 people have literally no idea what you're going through. And those are the people that you're associating with. Those are the people that you're hanging around with. So it's really difficult to talk to people about your experiences.
Things weren't going as great as what they were. So I thought, let me get a business coach. And then he then said, look, how often do you check your numbers? I was like, what numbers? We checked the numbers, and he said, Brad, you owed HMRC £95,000. And back then, my turnover was only about 380,000 in a year.
Brad, what does Trade Growth Club mean to you right now?
It's sort of aligned to what we want to do, where we want to help people have the guidance and the information and the knowledge that we didn't have.
When you explain to somebody one of your crazy 1% ideas, and somebody responds with, that will never work, what they're actually telling you, I don't really understand what you've just said. Rather than just express a little bit of curiosity and go, oh, well, that sounds interesting, like, tell me a bit more about that. Their defenses go up, and it gets projected onto you, which then holds you back. And if you've got your network of 5 people all telling you the same thing, what are you going to do? You're going to start thinking like them, and you'll stop coming up with the ideas, and it will stunt entrepreneurship.
So, Chris, thanks for coming to Trade Growth Club.
Brad, what does Trade Growth Club mean to you right now? What is it?
I think it's something that is sort of aligned to what we want to do, where we want to help people have the guidance and the information and the knowledge that we didn't have. And I'm really passionate about helping people. I always have done. You know, when people say, like, what you're really good at or what really makes you get up in the morning, for me, it's helping others and seeing others grow. And it's been like that for my company that I've built. All of my team are exactly the same, and I love it. And to be able to now put that onto people that are trying to build their business, and for me to bring that information that would help them, I think is absolutely amazing. And then when you mention words like community and network, that just really excites me. And I think the only way I could have done that or fulfill that passion I have is by creating something like Trade Growth Club.
Quite the philanthropist.
Yeah. That's it. Thanks very much. That's a cut. Let's go.
Make it, give back, go. Yeah. But it is right, you know, exactly as you've just said it, and we said it earlier. This is the very thing that we wish we had when we first started. Right, growing. We both know that growing a business is lonely. Well, you know, like we said earlier, right? 13% of people in the UK, roughly, if you enjoy my statistics, are self-employed or business owners. And 1 in 7 or 8 people have literally no idea what you're going through. And those are the people that you're associating with. Those are the people that you're hanging around with. So it's really difficult to talk to people about your experiences. And not only that, but to get the right advice from people, which makes it even lonelier, especially when the people that you're normally sort of hanging around with are your friends and your family and, you know, the people that you've associated with forever are the people that can't give you the advice that you need. Now, for me, that was exactly my case. I'm not from a family of entrepreneurs. Probably my granddad was the closest because he built quite a successful business, but we weren't that connected to the point where I could get advice or mentorship. And plus he sort of passed away when I was like 16, 18 or 16, 17. So I didn't have that support network in my sort of life growing up. And I absolutely now wish I had. It would have been so much different for me if I could speak to people that have done what I was planning on doing and get the advice that we now can give people, right? And that's a really cool position.
Yeah. Yeah. It's really funny you mentioned about that. Was a statistic, the 6 and 7 people that you know, or 6 people that you know.
You're the
7th in a sense.
become the 6th person.
That's it, yeah.
In the group of, yeah.
So with that statistic and them not really knowing how to run a business, the stresses of running a business and the strain that comes with it, but not only the business, the strains and stresses that the business forces upon you, if you're like we are in a sense that we're laying in bed and we're coming up with ideas. 99% of them are rubbish, but you know, wake up in the morning and think, oh, forget that. What do we think about that one? But there's a 1 or 2% that that is actually a really good solution to what you're trying to fix. And trying to explain that, or trying to get somebody else or an audience get excited about that, maybe if you mention that idea to this audience, it could be the wrong audience, and then straight away it dampens that idea when really it was a really good idea. You just told it to the wrong audience.
Yeah.
But being in a community or the right audience all of a sudden gives that idea energy and fuel, and then you can grow from that. And that's what I think is great. And that's something that I've learned over the years is that some average of the 5 people you hang around with is okay. That's a nice strapline to go along with and to live by, perhaps. But when you break it down, you think, what does that actually mean for me? If I am an ideas person and constantly coming up with this, would it lead to frustration because I'm just getting pushed back all of the time? But if you take a step back, you think, no, one of these ideas are going to work. Why am I keep getting pushed back from this? Oh, I'm in the wrong audience, or I'm telling the wrong people. Okay, who are the right people? It's going to help me. And that's what I think is a great thing. If you can understand that and overcome that hurdle, then straight away you're going to go on to better things in the right environment.
Also, we said earlier, the natural reaction when you explain to somebody one of your crazy 1% ideas, and somebody responds with, that would never work, or you shouldn't do that. What they're actually telling you, without telling you, is, I don't really understand what you've just said. So I'm going to project my fear onto you. So I'm not going to support you. And if anything, I'm going to sandbag you. Rather than just express a little bit of curiosity and go, oh, that sounds interesting. Like, tell me a bit more about that. Their defenses go up and it gets projected onto you, which then holds you back. And if you've got your network of 5 people all telling you the same thing, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? You're going to start thinking like them, and you'll stop coming up with the ideas, and it will stunt entrepreneurship. Now, like I said, we are growing Trade Growth Club. We are going to help people grow. We're not going to sandbag them. We're going to be the sum of the people that they are hanging around with, the ones that want them to explore their ideas and get better at executing them. I think this is really important. Yeah,
definitely. And it's funny you mention that, actually, because then what happens is, and so I'm going to talk from my experience when I joined a good sort of community earlier last year, is you can then compartmentalize the conversations you have with the audiences that you're sitting with. So if I've got an audience I know used to perhaps dampen my ideas, I wouldn't explain my ideas to them. But I'd get excited that I'm seeing this other community at the weekend. I'm going to save it all for that. So these guys over here, I can talk about the weather. I can talk about like the day-to-day. Like, okay, great. And it's a great conversation. And it's a good time, because we all need that downtime occasionally. Knowing that frustration hasn't built because I know that I'm seeing the right people that are going to give me fuel for these ideas in a few days' time. Or I've got a WhatsApp group that's really good and positive that I can literally just jump on. Hey, how about this? What does everyone think? And I think with having that, you can then split your time and use it like in the right way. You're not then getting frustrated. I've got this idea that's literally compounding in my head constantly. It's like, I can't get it out of my head. And you go and have some coffee with someone that never really understands your idea. And you're still frustrated. You're still holding it in because you think, well, I know what they're going to say, so I'm no point sharing it with them. You've already shared it with the right people. And now you're getting fuel over there. And you're also being able to have good conversations with these people that perhaps don't understand your idea. And you're enjoying that company as well, and that conversation, knowing that you've got this all separated in the right areas. I think that's really, really helpful. That's from my experience from last year. I was really able to remember that Jim Rohn thing where it's like, I think it's like, wherever you are, be there. And it's like, so if you're in, I suppose it could go with communities. If you're in a community business, you're not going to talk about coffees and, days at the beach. You're going to talk about business. Yeah. But if you're at the beach, you're not really going to talk about businesses. You're going to enjoy the beach. And it's kind of like that sort of thing, whereas sometimes they can cross over. And I think that's where the frustration comes, because you haven't got an outlet of feeding these ideas and getting the right results back or the right answers back. So I think when you build that kind of community or those communities, then I think that helps with clarity. Certainly if you're an ideas person that's just constantly racing.
This guy.
Yeah. Especially if you like Chris. But I'm exactly the same too. Constantly coming up with it all of the time. So I think that's the power of having that, definitely.
When did you found Aquamark? What year?
2013.
2013. So what's that, 12 years? 13
Yes.
years now.
So yes.
If you had this in 2013, how would things have been different for you?
I think to give that answer a bit of context, I'd have to go back previously. So what happened was I done the thing of I saw some shiny stuff and I thought, that'll do me. So it was commercial window cleaning. I saw a few guys doing pretty well from it, rope access and all the working at height stuff. And then I started, but I didn't have any direction. It was all for me. It was really all about the money and the shiny stuff of I'll get there. I'll get this much money in, and this much money is at the end of the month in the bank. Okay, I'm rolling. I'm literally laughing. I've nailed business.
What an idiot!
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
what an idiot!
Yeah. In 2007, I then bought another business, a commercial business. So that got me into the commercial sector. Again, I thought I'm literally flying here, like going to be like next Richard Branson. And then in 2013, I realised that I wasn't checking any P&Ls, didn't understand about cash flow statements and balance sheets, and why these numbers and these figures were coming in. I didn't understand anything like that, but I didn't know to look. And that was, I think, looking back now, the problem. So then around about 2012, I thought, okay, I'm getting a bit lost and things weren't going as great as what they were. The wheels started to come off a little bit. So I thought, let me get a business coach. And he then came in and said to me, are you off the tools yet? And I was like, no, I'm not. And he goes, okay. He goes, well, give me a shout when you're off the tools. He goes, I can teach you to come off the tools. I was like, okay, fine. I was like, well, can you tell me what that means then, please? He explained it to me and he helped me. And then he then said, look, how often do you check your numbers? I was like, what numbers? And then he was
They're not important.
Yeah.
We don't need them.
Listen, I am rolling in it. You just deal with it for me. And and then we checked the numbers and he said, Brad, you owed HMRC £95,000. And back then my turnover was only about 380,000 in a year. So I was proper like beginning stage and it was a hard lesson. So I then understood the whole power of checking your numbers, getting the right people to help you with that sort of that side of the business. I did have to liquidate the company. I did contact HMRC saying, look, I want to pay it back. What can I do? And they said, no, you've got 3 months. We want it in 3 months. And I was like, well, I literally it took me like 6 months to earn that if I spend nothing. In the end, the chartered accountant said to me, like you with your granddad, my granddad was the only other one in my family that had a business. He had 2 businesses actually, a recruitment business, doing very well, very successful. I rung him and I said, look, granddad, I've done this. Quite embarrassed, about it all because he saw me as the next person to take over from him in a sense in the family. I then had to ring him and said, I've literally made a massive error. I'm stuck, what can I do? And he said, go and see Sandra, just a chartered accountant. And she said, liquidate it. And by the 25th of January 2013, 7:30 a.m., one of my companies was closed down. And by about 9:30 that same day, Aquamark Cleaning Limited started. And she goes, and that's it. She goes, there you go, thanks very much. She goes, enjoy your business. I was like, what? And they literally closed. But after that, I literally, I'm never going to do that again.
Yeah.
And I thought, I want a chartered accountant. I want a professional bookkeeper. I want the whole thing done properly because the finance is the blood of the company. You have to get that first. It's for investment, for paying bills, for growing. The whole thing feeds off of the finance. So, yeah, that's what I've done.
I think probably the number one rule or the number one purpose of a business is to make money and produce profit.
Yeah.
And it's so often completely overlooked. It's much more than just paying bills and getting paid to do the job. And it's just, it doesn't work if you consider it like that. The business has to make money after everybody else has made their money. Otherwise, it's completely pointless. And it's a really, really high risk way of making a job, of having a job, sorry.
Making a living.
But I think you have to get to that transition period. And I think this is where a lot of people are that we should be speaking to now. Been trading a year, couple of years. Things are a lot more stressful than when they just had a job because they've now got a job plus responsibilities. There's a bunch of stuff that they're not very good at. But also the missing piece here, and this is something you just said, it's the stuff that you don't know. Because you only know what you know to this point. But learning the things that you don't know is really, really bumpy and painful along the way. And then you end up in experiences like you had where you had to, basically close a company down. If you knew you had to manage your company profits and your finances better from day one, you wouldn't be in that situation. So I think this is where Trade Growth Club comes in. It's educating people on those important things so they don't have to go through those experiences. We've both had them. Year 6 into my company, we were asking questions that we should have been asking at day one, but we didn't know we should have been asking them. And there isn't a support function like this around at the moment that really says, oh, hey, you've started a trades business, you've started a construction business. Before you go gun-ho, there's a few things that you might want to know, and here they are. Mm-hmm. And that's really what I want to do with this. This is getting that key information and turning very skilled tradespeople, very skilled construction workers, very skilled people, hardworking people into better business owners so they don't have to go through the shit that we went through. Mm. That's my goal with this. It has to happen. It has to happen.
And also, one thing that we didn't add was that whole story of me. It didn't just end on the 25th of January 2013. The HMRC had a clause into me for another 6 years thereafter. It was actually lockdown that stopped them because they had other things to worry about.
Everyone was working from home.
Everyone was working from home. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, they literally. I used to pay VATs monthly. I had to get letters from them constantly. It was just like you say. If I could go back again, that would have been the one thing. Was like I wish I got a business consultant, whatever it is, sooner than I actually did. But there's that thing is that you don't know what you don't know until you find out what you don't know. Mm. And then by then, sometimes, a lot of the time, it's actually too late. So I think it's a tough one, isn't it? Would you say business is harder? Like, when did you start your business, Windows and Doors?
2015, I went self-employed. And 2017 was the first year I registered a limited company. So what's that? Right. 9 years ago. Mm. Yeah, almost a decade.
So with your experience then and now, let's say the last 2 years and your first 2 years of being in business, would you say it's harder or easier to start and build a business?
Now, it's a hell of a lot easier because you focus on what's actually important, not the thing that you think you need to do. So I'm a window fitter by trade. If I started another company now, I'm in the process of launching another window business. I haven't gone out and bought any tools. I haven't gone out and decided what product I'm going to buy. I'm literally focusing all of my attention on how I can produce profit. Now, 2006 me had no idea how to make profit. He only knew how to fit windows. But now I know how to focus my attention on the other side. It makes the design process a lot easier. I'm sure, like you, if I could go back to 2006, 2007, there's things during that 5, 6, 7 year period that I did that I wouldn't even touch. There's jobs that we took on that we shouldn't have taken on, but we didn't know that we didn't know not to take them on. We just, there's an opportunity to earn money. A lead has come in. It's word of mouth. We have to do it. This is what we have to do. None of it was by design. It was reactivity to what happened as a result of us doing what we were doing. But now I would be proactive and I would be planned and I would only engage in the things that were part of my strategy. So a lot easier. And I think that when you're operating by design to a plan and in line with some sort of vision, it makes the decision-making process a lot easier. And I think that's one of the keys. Because an opportunity comes in, a job comes in, you can then decide, does this fit in with the plan that we're running? And if it doesn't, it's probably best to decline it. Mm. You don't just quote every job. You don't just do everything you can for every type of customer because you end up being nothing to no one. The new launch now of my window and door company is solving a specific problem for a specific group of people in a specific way to achieve a specific amount of money. How much more clarity does anybody else need? 2007 me would have been taking on all manner of jobs for all manner of people, supplying all manner of products and having all manner of people involved. And there was no consistency. So it's just now I've got the understanding that I just need to do a thing well. And I didn't have that before. So in answer to your question, a lot easier.
It's funny you say about like doing a load of stuff because I had a thing years ago when I first started or a few years in. They're like, Brad, what is it you actually do? I said, anything that goes on an invoice. That was literally my saying. It's like, whenever I can put an invoice, I do. But at that time, you're thinking just money, but you don't understand what's your sweet spot. What equipment have you bought that can turn over the best profit? What staff have you trained that can deliver the best result to then bring the best profit? All of that sort of stuff just doesn't go into it. You think, well, I've got people and I've got some equipment. If I haven't, I'll buy the add-ons and I'll just get that done because it's money coming in. And I think that's the way you look at it when you first start out. But we now know that if you have that vision of where you want to go and you understand what you're trying to achieve, now you know who you're going to market and how you're going to market. Because now you know exactly what service you're going to bring and what suits you best to then in turn deliver the best profit. Now, some people might not be too bothered about profit. There's talk of, I want to provide the best customer experience service and the profit follows after, which is okay, great. It works for a lot of companies. But at the end of the day, the profit is just want to keep your doors open. Because you haven't got that, unless you've got some massive fund. And
5-star reviews don't pay the bills.
Exactly, that's it. Yeah. They certainly help towards getting things that do pay the bills, but you still need that net profit. But there's so much more to it. It's just not like, like you say, anything goes on the invoice. It's like, what equipment do we have? What have we bought? Why did we buy that equipment? Because we're doing this. Okay, well, let's probably best not come off of this vision that we have, this journey. And I think that's why we start with that first, like you just said, because the only difference in your story over the two was when you started out as like, okay, we need money. Now you're saying who you're going to be supplying the services to. That's experience, because you know, actually, I know what I'm going to be doing, what I'm good at, what I can deliver, and to whom. And I think that's the whole vision, isn't it?
Well,
you have that to begin with.
So the 7 things that we teach people, right? Vision, number 1. You have to know what you're going to achieve, where you're pointing. Once you know how to do that, number 2, marketing. How are you going to market? How are you going to tell the industry? How are you going to educate your customers and your industry on what you're going to try and achieve in your vision and how your business operates? That's your marketing strategy, right? So then when you've understood where you're going to go, how you're going to get there, you've marketed it and inquiries are coming in, sales. I wasn't focusing on sales at all in 2006. I was focusing on fitting. 3 things I need to do before I even get to the operation side. Yeah. So there's so much that goes into this that me, you, back then, and thousands of people in the UK have no idea that they need to be doing this.
And then even before you talk about all that, like moving on to the operation part, you then got the strategies, how you can pull the levers to make sure that you maximize each of those key areas. Because even your vision and the strategy and the way you talk, tone of voice, the tone of the company also comes into play in every single pillar. Even chasing money. How do you chase your money? Because you don't want to suddenly drop the guard there and people think, oh, they were rude or they were this or that, and it goes off brand. Because now you want it to be an entire process so they constantly come back and repeat customers. And that's how you build to scale. So it all kind of goes in. But if you only go to market, it has to be on point with the vision, because otherwise you're not going to know what you're saying to people. And if someone catches you off guard, it's going to be so irrelevant to how you've done it previously. It's not going to resonate. You're suddenly losing your audience. So I think that's the power of that. And it all kind of goes hand in hand. And even if your sales, let's say you're having 100 leads come in and you're quoting, etc., but you're turning over like 1 or 10, you think, well, how can I pull the lever to get those better? There's tons of strategies there. It's all to do with checking the numbers and the KPIs and saying, okay, well, let's increase our sales conversion. How can we do that? Maybe video calling chase-ups, maybe like a personal visit, maybe sort of like sending a flyer or something like that. Long gone are days of sort of like hard copy stuff, isn't it? But just be the odd one out, go and do that. So it's people like think, okay, it's marketing and sales is one, but actually it isn't. This is two. It can make or break you. If you get them both synchronized, then awesome. But then it's just people think, oh, well, I've done the quote. That's the hard part. I'll let the automated system chase it up. Is that on brand? Is that what you're wanting it to do? No, it goes all the way through the entire journey. And I think that's what a lot of people think as well. I think, well, I'm getting loads of businesses. I'm flying. Well, are you? And
what about when you aren't?
Well, then it's understanding, it's going back to the anchor, which is like, why are we doing this? What are we doing? What's our tone of voice? What's our brand?
Yeah.
And it's like, even like, what's our uniform? We might talk really smart, but yeah, our uniform might look scruffy. Even the guy that spoke to my phone sounded really like, knows what he's doing. These guys turn up, none of them are uniformed. It looks like an absolute mess. And so it's the whole thing. And I know we're going really deep, but you know, like the guys that are just starting out thinking, hold on, my mind's blown. Where do I focus first then? And you think, okay, focus on why you're doing it. Because that will be the reason why you're getting out on the cold mornings, out of bed in the cold mornings.
Yeah.
You know, so you think that's what's going to pull you out of the warm bed.
It's your source of energy, isn't it?
Exactly, that's it, yeah. And if you've got a strong why, then you'll be flying.
So we can talk about the problem, but let's get on to some solutions. How are we going to fix this? So we know that Trade Growth Club is going to be this support function. We know it's going to upskill trades, construction, service-based business owners on those 7 key areas of business that they probably don't know that they need to focus on yet. Vision, marketing, sales, operations, finance, team building, and scaling up. Those are the 7.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we know we're going to do that. What's the plan when we're done? What impact can we make on the construction and trades industry if we can get enough people listening to us?
Well, so I think it goes back to like what we were talking about earlier on about you can't fix everything all of the time. And you also, it doesn't run smoothly all of the time. There are going to be areas that drop and there are going to be things that pop up that you probably didn't see. And I think it's, for first and foremost, and it's a real simple one, is having that community that you can lean upon to ask those questions. Has anyone experienced this before? Or is anyone know how to, I'm struggling with my vision, or I'm struggling with a particular team development or something. What can I do? Has anyone experienced any of this before? And I think having that is really, really powerful. I'm members of a couple of mastermind groups, and even, you know, sometimes today, like I'm thinking, okay, what about this? What about that? And it goes back to the ideas. I've had this crazy idea. What do people think of it? This one, you know, like that sort of thing. You just get the feedback from it. But you know that it's coming back from people that are trying the exact same things you're doing, or even been there, or on their way to being there. So you know it's going to be quite constructive feedback and helpful. And I think having that is really, really, really powerful. For me, I really talk from experience from that, because that's helped me out an awful lot over the last 18 months. So that would be the first one. But then also it's the knowledge and tools, I guess, on our platform of giving them the direction and the tools to, because sometimes you don't really think that you need something. And it's only when you see it, you think, actually, you know what, that's really going to help me with X. Okay, right, do you know what, let me just follow this through, or let me go and do this one. And then perhaps you can get a bit of guidance on this particular document, video, whatever it is, this tool. And I think it's having that, it's putting you another step or two, you know, up that you probably wouldn't have had. Now, I know we talked about earlier on about these LMMs and all that sort of stuff, and but it's implementing it. It's that bridge, isn't it? It's kind of like, okay, I've got all this information, and ChatGPT and Grok are great for chucking out as much information as you want, but what do I do with it now? And if you don't know really what to do with it, it's just going to sit on your phone.
Do you know, so to add in here, right, there has been information on how to run and grow and scale companies available for years. Okay, YouTube, Google, everything that you need to know can be found online. The problem with online information is it's so lonely. And you have no idea. You can, ChatGPT, how do I do this? And it will give you an answer. Do you fully trust ChatGPT? Has ChatGPT done something that you're trying to do? Has it built a business? No. It's given you an answer that it's researched from the information that's been there for decades. And the reality is, you're still going to do nothing with it. Your thing on your phone, right? It says you don't need more information, you need action.
Yeah.
Yeah? You know what you need to do, you just need to do it.
That's
but
right.
the problem is, if you take the information from ChatGPT, you won't do it. So the difference for me in becoming a Trade Growth Club member is accountability on top of information. So we show you what, or help you figure out what you need to do, and then make sure you do it, because action is literally the enemy of procrastination, and it will move you forward. So that's a key player as well. And I have a question, it popped up. For me personally, if someone had come in 6 months into business and said, oh, just so you know, Chris, there's a bunch of stuff you don't know, and here it is, my pride would have been so heavily dented. You know, I'm a burly bloke, I've been out on site, I've got dusty knees and all of that kind of stuff. I ain't listening to you.
Yeah.
Now that attitude is so wrong. So wrong. And certainly in trades, you know, big burly blokes do what they do during the week, and then they go to the pub. And can you imagine if someone leant on the bar and went, "Hey, Dave, I'm having a bit of trouble with my marketing strategy. Can you help me out?" He'd be laughed out the pub. He'd be laughed out the pub because it's the banter side of things. It's the blokey reaction. Don't be so stupid. We ain't talking about that. We'll talk about tits instead.
Yeah.
Fair. I'm not going to stop that. But giving people the ability or the place or a destination to come and ask that question and get actual help, the value there for me is something that I'm so pleased to be able to offer. Share our stories, share our experiences, and help the people that were in our shoes when we were going through those problems. For me, that's one of the key things.
Well, that story there, that goes back to like the environment, isn't it? And the average of the people that you hang around with. And then, like I said, about when you're compartmentalizing different areas of your life and what kind of person of you shows up in that environment. At the pub, if you've got the other area sorted and you know how to increase your marketing strategy already sorted by professionals and people that have been there before with the right tools and it's working, you can now relax and chill a bit and go down the pub and talk about bits that you normally do. So because do you know what? I don't really embarrass myself and talk about marketing because these guys are not really going to know about marketing, but those guys over there are. Yeah. I'll save it for those guys and I'll see them tomorrow. But tonight, I'm going to have a good bit of fun.
So we are the safe space. We are the safe space. I really like it. And how much of an impact do you actually think we can do with Trade Growth Network?
Do you know what? And I know it sounds like a bit like, what was the word you used earlier on? Oh, philanthropy. Yeah. So we're kind of getting like all like woo-woo in that sort of thing. But I've had the experience of helping some people along the way over the last sort of like probably 2 to 3 years, other than my team that I have in my company. And I've seen them grow and it's been amazing. I really love it. But there's some other people. There's a plumber guy, electrician guy, and 2 window cleaners. And, 3 window cleaners, but the third one only gave me advice and then didn't hear from him again. But what I really, really loved is being able to help them, and then they come back to me and say, "Do you know what, Brad? What you said, I've done it, and it's now produced this." And you know what? That literally, I felt like I was just walking on air for the rest of the day. Like I was walking 2 inches taller because I'm like, "Do you know what? That's bloody amazing." I didn't get any money for it. Yeah. I done it just helping him out, and the fact that he came back to me and said that, I was like, "Brilliant, lovely. If anything else I need to do, just give me a shout. I'll help you out more." Which can be, they kept coming back. Now I've got somewhere, with Trade Growth Club, we're coming there. But it's having that experience of helping someone that I think is just absolutely amazing. And like what you said, do you remember when I said to you, I said, "But how am I going to be, how am I really going to help anyone? I'm trying to bloody help myself. What are you talking about?" And you go, I think it was you who said that as long as you stay like 2 steps ahead. Is that right? Did you say that?
So what I was talking about is there are people at all stages of their journeys in life, right? You and I, we have both done similar things to what people that are a couple of years behind us want to do. And there are people that have built companies that are far in advance of what we've done. So it's impossible for a single person to try and help everyone below, or to try and help everybody, because then you target people that are even above you. Basically, the growth journey is where you bring people along as you grow.
Yeah.
Like it would be impossible for me to sit here and advise someone on how to build a £20 million company because I've never done it. But for someone that wants to get off the tools, I've done it. Okay, I've got the experience and the T-shirt or the high-vis. Someone said that yesterday. Been there, done that, got the high-vis. I love that. I think that's brilliant. Absolutely.
That is brilliant.
We're copywriting that. Been there, done that, got the high-vis. But yeah, we're only looking for people that are walking in the same path that we've already walked. We're not doing anything else, right? Because we've got not the authority, because that makes us sound weird, but we've got the credibility because we've done it. We can literally demonstrate to people how to do it, how we did it. And we are where people want to be. And there are people that are where we want to be, and we speak to them. So we don't sandbag anybody. Nobody sandbags us, and we don't sandbag people. We pull them up, and we get pulled up. So that's how that works.
Yeah, and so because when you approached me, and I was like, but I'm trying to build myself, and like you say, we're going sort of like for 10 million and so on. But then you think, it's only when you explain that, I was like, yeah, that's actually quite true. And it gave me the confidence to help these other people. And in return, I then got that amazing feeling. I'm like, do you know what? I want more of this. And that's kind of what we're trying to build at Trade Growth Club, is to be able to do more of that. Because I think there's just so many people, that business starters and people that have businesses that perhaps even hit a bit of a ceiling at the moment. They might get to start 500 grand, £1 million, and think, okay, do you know what? I've been here for like 2-3 years. It's the same thing time and again now. I really want some change. I even want to talk about retirement. I even want to talk about, sort of like developing it so it becomes an asset. So I earn, money off of it every single week and month, and I don't really have to be there to do it. I can go and live my life. So that sort of thing. It might be a case of they got to that point. Great, £1 million. It's an amazing achievement. It's like the hardest thing, isn't it? Like getting 1 million, and the next thing I was doing like 10 million.
I'd say the first one's is the hardest.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So you've done that.
Yeah.
You might have a glass ceiling now. How do you develop that? How do you scale it? Do you want to franchise it? Do you want to sell it? What do you want to do?
What's the vision?
What's the vision?
What's the vision?
Exactly, yeah.
What's the vision?
There's Brad Sugars. It's like, I went to Brad Sugars from Action Coach, and I went on this thing just before lockdown. It's in Kensington. There was like a 3-day event, and there's only about 20 of us in this room. He's like an amazing guy with his strategies. He just kicks out his strategies like nothing. And so much information. And he always, passing the toilet, what's your date? And I'm like, what do you mean what's my date? And he goes, what's your selling date? I said, I'm not selling. But he said, oh, what's your exit date? What's your exit date? He goes, everyone's exiting a business at some point, whether it's in a box or whether it's being paid out. Yeah. He goes, you're exiting a business at some point. He goes, so start thinking about it.
So true.
Yeah, and that's exactly what he just kept saying to me. And at the end, it was like, right, everyone think about exit date. By tomorrow morning, I want everyone's exit date. So it's just crazy. When you start thinking about it, you work towards it. You think, well, I better have systems in place. I better have processes in place, scripts and how-to manuals and all this sort of stuff. It has to be all fixed in if that's your vision. If you just want a job forever, then okay, fine. But you might want to be a community and just get some sort of like ideas to bounce off of. Okay, also fine. But depending on what you want to do, we can help you.
So what's your date?
Mine was mine was actually the 10th of April 2030, but I don't really want to go out to my team. So
we'll cut this bit out.
Because they'll have absolute meltdowns. But I did actually get asked to buy twice last year, and because I just had 2030 in my head all of the time, that's what I've been working to, I declined both offers. Well, one of them wasn't a really proper offer, but it was just talk, but the other one was actually a hard offer, and I declined it. I was like, no, I'm still here.
There's a saying I like, build your business to sell, whether you're going to sell or not, because then it gives you options. I like exit or evolution because you can evolve. If you've got a business that's ready to sell, it's got a management team, it's got processes, it can run, you can go and sit on the beach, go and play golf, go for a sauna when you want, whatever it is that you want to do, because it's happening without you. Then you can sell it, or you can go home early on Fridays, or do whatever you want, a little bit more with your time. So the evolution process, but if you don't work towards that, you will have a job forever. The question I asked my electrician friend the other day, has anybody asked you what your vision is for you in the business or where you're going? Or do you kind of run on the thought process that you're just going to be an electrician forever? Never been asked that before. So what's the plan? Is it to have a job forever? Because if it's not to have a job forever, then you need to think about it like a business. Or if not, just go and work for someone. Don't start a business to have a job. Start it for a purpose and know what the purpose is. Vision. Now, they're uncomfortable questions.
They are.
And it will get you thinking, but you have to know what the point is, otherwise there is no point.
And to caveat that as well is every business can scale and every business can provide the life that you want, but it's just having the right direction, vision, systems, processes, team. So somebody
Magic
might...
7.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, exactly. So the people might be thinking, oh, well, I only just do like a few houses locally and not like you think, yep, that can scale too. It can scale. Any business can scale.
Yeah.
Like there was that thing you mentioned earlier on, Grant Cardone, he done The Undercover Billionaire. Did you ever see that? So I think he had a mobile phone and about $100. He turned over $1 million by the end of the month because he knew what to do. And he literally had nothing, started with nothing. $100, mobile phone. Couldn't use his contacts, had to sell. And that is one of the best salesmen. I think he's rated as the best salesman in America or something. He's probably with Jordan Belford, and I think the two of them, something like that. Anyway,
I wouldn't buy from him, but
no, yeah, but anyway, but it's that sort of thing, isn't it? It's like any business can scale and give you the life that you want. You just need the right systems in place and the right direction and the vision and how you want it to become. And that's it. I say that's it. It's a lot harder than that.
So let's talk very quickly about Trade Growth Network.
Yes. So
as a goal that we have for the business is to set up. Should we shoot for 100?
Yeah.
We shoot too low?
Well, what's our targets for Trade Growth Club? Do you remember them?
They're your targets. 1,000 members by the end of the year. 1,000 tradespeople supported by the end of 2026.
Yes, we want to help. 500 members by the end of July.
500 members by the end of July, 1,000 by the end of the year. Amazing. So Trade Growth Network then, we shoot for 100 locations across the UK. And what we're going to do is we're going to create power hubs of the best tradesmen in the area that are going to become a lead generation and a referral engine for each other, that we are actually going to support and upskill so they know exactly what to do with and how to maximize the value of the leads and the referrals that they generate. 100 locations across the UK. I think we'll average 30, 35 members per group. That's a huge referral engine for everybody involved. Everybody in that hub will be accessing and talking about multiple projects where everybody else in that hub will be required at some point. That's insane. There is no other groups like that. If you're a plumber or a joiner, you can go and sit in a networking group at the moment, and there might be a dog walker and a carpet cleaner in there. But that's a percentage of the people in that room that are never going to refer business to you. So we are really maximizing the value by making this trade and construction specific. And then giving them essentially a shot of nos on how to grow their business. It's like my Fast and Furious days. But really giving them the tools and the strategies that they need to maximize the value of this. That's going to be incredible. Really, really incredible. I'm super excited by this.
Yeah, I think with that large target, okay, I'll tell you what, I'll put a question to you. What fueled that target and why do you think it's possible?
I would say for a fair amount of tradespeople across the UK, their lead generation strategy is wait for the phone to ring. Or you do a job for somebody and hopefully they go on to refer you to one of their friends. That's not a lead generation strategy. You're not in control of your own business there. This is that on steroids. This is joining a group of people. Again, they're all involved in a number of different projects where you're going to be required. So the referral engine is going to work in your favor and you won't have a finger in the air hoping you're going to be able to generate leads and inquiries because they are there for you. So we're essentially taking somebody from a hit and hope strategy to a fully functioning referral network that is essentially bringing leads on a monthly basis, fortnightly basis, and the support to know what to do with them. Wow. That's the difference.
Yeah, because imagine if you had too many leads, nice problem, and now you don't know, or you haven't got your marketing strategy or your sales funnel that's set up, you then lean upon the Trade Growth Club.
Bingo. Bingo. So to my knowledge, there aren't actually any other networking groups in the UK that offer growth support as well as the referrals. And if the referrals is the stop point, then we have a massive opportunity to help people in ways that nobody else is. Now that's exciting. What we're identifying, we're identifying a genuine problem for people that we can solve at scale in an industry that we both love. That excites me. We both want to help, and we can help. What's that? What's 35 times 100? 3,500. So imagine being part of a 3,500 strong power team of trades located all across the UK that are sharing work between each other. There's going to be crossing territories as well. So if you're in part of a location and you cover the next city down, there's no reason that you couldn't benefit from the leads generated in that group as well. Longer term, we should, or I think what we talked about is planning to bring in involvement with some of the sort of the wider industry network to offer additional support for our members, so we can really maximize the benefits. Like example, right? If we can help people generate more leads, help them know what to do with them, and then help them become more efficient buyers when they get the jobs, what do you think that's going to do for net profits?
Well, only one thing. Yeah.
Up. This excites me. This is a cool project.
You just explained it like that. So I had a tender that came in, and the customer really wanted us, we've been working for a little while, and they really wanted us to take this over. And it's in I think it's Lancaster University. And it's like an 84 building development, accommodations and school and university classes and such buildings. And it's a budget of about 512,000 for the year. And I'm like, this is literally a lovely, lovely job, but we don't cover it. So I'm actually currently looking for people that can help me cover it. But then imagine if I just had one number or one group to jump on, so that I've got this. Can anyone help me out?
You'd phone, you'd get straight on the phone to the, what city is it in?
Lancaster.
In Lancaster.
Yeah, Lancaster University.
So you'd get straight on the phone to Trade Growth Network Lancaster, speak to the ambassador.
That's what I mean.
Yeah. And you would have somewhere for that to go.
Yeah.
And then what's going to happen when Lancaster generate a lead for London? Who do you think they're going to call?
Build that relationship.
Exactly. Exactly. That's superpowers, that is.
Yeah,
Really
just you sort of like label it out there. It just suddenly, it's like, because I'm experiencing it at the moment.
Yeah.
We've got to vet them, meet them, not a lot and so on. You know, I was like, oh, I've just had one call.
We're going to coin another phrase here. It's networking on NOS.
Got the high vis.
We're going to cut that out.
We got the high vis.
We're going to cut that out. That's awful.
Coming to the end of the session, like if you want to do some straight to camera stuff, just to finish it off.
Okay.
Let's
All right
do it.
then. What's it? So there are 3 bears.
At Trade Growth Club, we're building the biggest network of tradespeople and construction suppliers in the UK. We are actively looking for ambassadors to help us launch locations across the country. And if you are in, around, or near any of the major cities and would like to be involved in this, then reach out to us. There's a whole host of benefits available to you in terms of a financial package, but the ability to help and serve the industry that we love will far outweigh any of that. We want to hear from you. Come and help and support us grow trades and construction across the UK. Reach out now. If you want to help us grow the trades and construction industry across the UK, click the link on this video, fill in the short form. We can't wait to hear from you.